Oh, hello.
Hello, Tommy Gioco.
What a week, Hunter Hammonds. What a
What a
week.
week, dude. You are a movie producer now. You're a film star.
I have an IMDb credit.
How does that feel? Are you going to date Ana de Armas yet? Or
She is the one card I have. I was given that. The wife said, if it's Anna, that's okay. But she has a good movie coming out. I think I'll settle for that. Big fan of the John Wick universe.
are you excited for Ballerina?
I kind of am, to be honest. Love a good Keanu. He makes an appearance. I saw in the trailer.
Yep.
How can he not be stoked, you know?
She did a really good job in James Bond.
Yeah, dude, I think I like the actresses. It's like, okay, great, they're pretty, love that. But like when they come and they just like can kill performances too. It's like, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like any actor or actress who can just kill a performance. That's what it's about, you know?
Kill performance. Yes, she is going to put on a kill performance. Pun intended. Brother, we got some news to talk about. Look, here's the deal. You done went and got yourself all fancy. We got a couple Tommy Gioco announcements that I want to make for you. Okay.
Oh.
I want to hype you up. Here we go. We got the new garage studio. Okay. The whole like sit back. We got the knee, in the shot, and then the sit in on the laptop, dude. I was like, my boy Tommy, he's got some fog machine action going on. Like,
Can I tell you real quick, having a garage studio in Phoenix, Arizona in the summer is not the move. I'm just letting you
no.
guys know. I have to film at like 5 a.m. or like midnight. It is not okay. Just calling that out real quick.
All right. And then you shared some behind the scenes with Weird Al, shall I say Weird Al Sorensen.
Yeah.
How was that shoot, man?
Dude, it was good. We did 2 days in Orange County, old Costa Mesa, out in Soren's little WeWork, which is hilarious because I really, really mean this when I say that team is one of the most cracked design teams I've ever been around. And I've seen some really dope people. You've got a sick agency. They're on that level. The brands they're working with are insane. Can't talk about them yet, but when the episode releases, we'll see all of the work. And they're crammed into this little tiny freaking WeWork, and it's hilarious. I mean, they're about to move out of that office, but it is so funny to see just this volume of talent just shoved into this closet, just producing the most insane stuff. And truly, one of the things that stood out to me immediately about those guys, there's no pretense, man. And they're just all collaborating. Every one of them has full agency to just do some weird shit. The chemistry was just top tier. I mean, you can tell why these teams work so well together. That chemistry is just like, yeah, they're just hanging out, doing cool stuff, and they love to do it. They love to do it. And that's, I think, that was the whole point of putting this series together, This Is Taste, was to show all these heavy hitters. I mean, I don't know about you, man. I've spent the last 15 years of my career really chasing dollars. And listen, I love money. And it's part of the main reason I do this thing. But I'm also trying to reconnect with, like, I love creating stuff. And I want to see what these people who are creating just the top tier of design work and other kinds of work, like, how are they doing it? And it really helped me like reconnect to a lot of that. So it was fun, man. It was weird too. It was weird too to be like directing people, had a whole film crew. I sweat profusely while I'm in front of lights and cameras, apparently. So that's a thing that I like. I didn't have a proper makeup department, so I just had this nasty sweat rag. I was just constantly wiping sweat off my brow. Lots of learning points, man. Lots of learning points.
Was it everything that you hoped it was going to be?
I think so. I think it was a lot of fun. Day one, I felt a little more stiff. Like, I'm super natural in this habitat here, and so I had to like. It's a little different than sitting in front of a camera static when you're like on the move, and you kind of have to find story and connect dots, and other people too are in front of camera for the first time, and they're not super natural. And it's like, if I don't have the casual energy, I think like it's easy for people to feel stiff. So day one, we got really good footage, but day two, I was like, you know what? I woke up, I came in, I'm like, nah, today we're going chill. Today's gonna be awesome. Day 2 was fantastic, dude. And then yeah, we did this whole bit with Soren. Let me show you guys. I put a wig on Soren. Okay. This is ridiculous. this is
Show
so
us.
this is the funniest thing. And someone in our Discord group put this background to it. This isn't the actual image, but this is us in the pose in these Hawaiian t-shirts. There's a Weird Al connectedness thing that we're doing for part of this story because Soren is very much the Weird Al of the tech industry, and it's hilarious. So we rocked this wig. I didn't know if the wig was gonna work with Soren. There was like we were gonna do 2 shots, one without the wig and one with it. He went and put this wig and Hawaiian shirt on, and it was incredible. Soren is like 6'6", dude. So
Yeah,
seeing
he's huge.
him out with this thing was so funny. I mean, he nailed it. And so by the end of it, we were just having a good time, man. We
Why
had
does it why does it look like that you're on like a porn set in this photo right here?
100%. So the day 2, at the evening shoot, we rented out this like house studio is totally a porn set. Like it's a pool and then like a bedrooms around the pool. So we
Yeah.
were very careful about which couches we sat on. Yeah, for sure. This is like a swinger pad that we rented out. Oh man, it was fun. This was a good time. And I'll tell you what, this whole team here, like seeing how they worked, and I kind of shared a little bit of this. This is Austin over here, and he's over there like mood boarding a commercial they're working on. And it was crazy to see him. He would take his iPad, he did in less than 60 seconds, would just quickly scaffold up like a line drawing of a hand holding an iPhone, and then he'd just quickly export that over, and he put it into Midjourney, and it generated like it turned the composition into these really higher fidelity mood boards. And just watching him mood board so quickly, like it was no big deal using Midjourney. The workflow was so sick. When we would take 5, the camera crew would like put their cameras down and they were like talking to him about it because like, dude, that's sick, and they were getting super inspired just watching them work on that. It was fun, man. It was fun.
Dude, I love it. I love it. I love that you are putting your money where your mouth is. You're going out there, making a big bet, bringing the people this quality level of entertainment. It's good, man. It's good to see that. I hope it pans out. I hope you get views out the butthole for this. And that, the sponsors just come knocking on the door. That's my hope for you.
That is the hope, man. We've got a lot of stuff in the works. We caught a little bit of the behind the scenes, the health of the business, the stakes are high. Can we continue making this thing? Because we have a lot of people who started lining up and they're like, dude, I want in. I want in. Right after this call, we're talking with Henry Modisat on from Perplexity to follow their team. And it's like, this is going to be fantastic. Man, these are not cheap episodes. And so, it's like, how are we going to do this? Speaking of Midjourney though, dude, and I have a question for you. Have you heard about this?
No, you were the first to mention this to me earlier. The only thing that's been on my news feed is like bombings in some country in the Middle East, which we're not going to get into. So I didn't see this. So this is a different kind of bombing.
Yeah, assuming we're all still here to witness this. This is pretty wild. So this actually happened. I got this like notification. We were filming in Soren's office, and we take 5, and then like I pull it up, and I'm like, "Yo, did you guys hear about this?" And so we were all talking about this because I think I'd always kind of assumed that this was going to happen at some point. Some sort of IP landmark case was going to come out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, dude, that's what just happened. So Disney and Universal, and let's be clear, those two teaming up is a wild concept. So those two team up and they're coming after Midjourney. And they're making some pretty big claims. This is huge. They've probably been sitting back just collecting evidence right now, right? You've got to imagine the last couple of years. And so they're making some pretty key claims. These are 2 of Hollywood's biggest studios. I think we all know that. By the way, Midjourney not funded, completely community funded. They're like so they don't have the VC budgets on this. And they're alleging that Midjourney illegally used copyrighted works. That's things like characters from Star Wars, Marvel, Shrek, Despicable Me, The Simpsons, Frozen, to train AI, and it enables users to generate kind of this endless pit of unauthorized reproductions of these characters. It's a but. I think the quotation they used was "bottomless pit of plagiarism" and a copyright-free writer is what they're saying. They give a lot of kind of side-by-side comparisons of studio artwork, a lot of Midjourney generated images. I mean, listen, dude, if you go to midjourney.com, like, and we can pull this up, there's a lot of character stuff going on here, right? Like, what do we have here? We'll take a look at this. I don't use their main feed a lot. And this is what a lot of people are using. I mean, Midjourney still generates, I think, the highest quality of polish amongst all of the image generation tools. I know that I was even talking to Soren's team, and I said, why do you use Midjourney? Why don't you use like some of these other models? And they're like, it just brings that polish up. Like, there's just nothing like it, you know?
Yep.
And there are times like, you get these little caricature cartoons and you get a lot of these characters who are like, that's strangely similar to something we might have seen on the big screen.
Yep.
This is going to go to the Supreme Court for sure. And the question is, can Midjourney sustain the fight long enough to make a battle, or are they gonna cave and just give up a percent? Like, what is the end game that Disney and Universal are trying to accomplish?
I'll tell you what it is. This reminds me of Napster. You remember that scene from The Social Network to where the Sean Parker character is like, well, we took down the record labels with Napster, and then Eduardo Saverin's like, you took down the record labels, like you got sued for $1 bazillion. And he's like, yeah, but do you want to buy a Capitol Records anymore? It's like, okay, well, hold on. Like, do I need to go and try and start the next Disney when I can just use generative AI tools? I don't need my huge animation studio and all this complex copyright law and IP and all this stuff. So it really is kind of rethinking the entire animation and film industry. And so I guess here's my question. Napster ended up bringing us streaming, right? Like the end all be all from that was, we're going to do Spotify, we're going to do Apple Music, we're going to do Pandora back in the day, and you're going to get paid every time you stream versus like, album sales and things of that nature. And so I guess my question to this is like, what is that moment for IP of the motion graphics kind?
Look at this. I type Shrek in, or I type Frozen. I don't know. What's Elsa? Yeah, like this is crazy, dude.
Yeah.
And so they probably just have petabytes of evidence here to say, look at all of this, right? Pretty nuts, man. Gonna be pretty wild to see this. I don't think we'll see conclusion on this anytime soon, but it was bound to happen, and it did.
Yeah.
On the week I went filming. So good times. Real quick, speaking of, I want to give a quick shout out to old Burnaby, visual artist on my team. This guy is absolutely cracked. And we're talking about a lot of this AI generation stuff. And one of the things I love about Burnaby, and we actually got him in a part of the episode talking about like what got him into stop motion, and it was really just a lack of resources. I don't have the ability to generate all this digitally, so he just would, cut out clips, and he had thousands upon thousands of paper cutouts he used to make what I'm about to show you. And this is all this is not the final, but it's a more complete version of what will be an intro to our other show, a narrative podcast. And this is not digital. This was completely filmed, shot by shot. Paper cutouts of images. Every single frame he created hand by hand. This is a handcrafted thing. And, it really is interesting to see. I love this part. Right here. And then you see his hands just kind of come in, and probably want to add something like that at the beginning, because now it's like you don't know. Like you can see something like this, and great job, Burnaby. You can see something like this, and this is something you can create digitally. Like you can create this effect and these textures and this whole stop motion look and feel digitally. But to really emphasize that no, this was handcrafted. is probably not necessary, right? You don't need to go that far to create this stuff anymore. It's not economical, but I think there's something there. Someone called this the chicken soup for kind of the liquid glass week of our feeds. And I do think this is kind of the chicken soup to, what is heavily becoming an AI powered content and media space. And I really love seeing this. And I think because Midjourney and things like it are going to become and have become so prevalent, stuff like this, there's a premium associated with it. What do you think about that?
I don't necessarily know that there's a premium associated with it. I guess maybe that means something to you different than it means to me. Okay. But I think that there is certainly an element of this that feels more bespoke and more intentional.
Maybe that's the way to describe it. Sure.
Yeah, more than just throwing something together that is just like so easily AI generated. It feels like a human being made this, and I think that's really special for the people that care. But I also feel in some ways that sadly that's probably a niche segment of the market. But the good thing is for the content you're creating and who you're talking to, that they are that niche that loves that.
Yeah. Because I mean, like, what did we just see? What was it? And I'm looking this up. I didn't have it pulled up. The NBA just released an AI powered commercial. Did you see this?
I did not, dude. I feel like I've been living under a rock this week. Fuck.
No, I know, and I think I caught wind of this, and I could be wrong. I don't have all the details. I am going to try to find the NBA commercial AI created. See if we can quickly find this for you. Here we go. I did find it. Okay, fantastic. So this is the commercial. We don't have sound on here. This is completely AI generated, and this aired on. I don't think you can hear that, but this is all AI generated right here, and they're talking about like they're giving fan statements. Oh yeah, this team's gonna win. That team's gonna win. They're just doing fan statements in this thing, right? It's just a hype commercial for different NBA teams and fans, and I don't think people knew that this was AI generated until they came out and said, no, this is the world's gone mad traded. Okay, so this is actually not an NBA commercial, but it aired during NBA programming. Pretty nuts. That's the kind of stuff that we're going to see more and more of, man.
Caio Dante says, guys, Tommy's mic is considerably lower.
Uh-oh.
I hear you just fine. I don't know. You sound good to me.
Yeah. Oh.
We talking milts? I don't know what milts are. What are milts?
Oh man, I love Tommy's server. Yeah.
I'm late. We talking liquid glass yet? Yes, soon. Very soon.
We will be talking plenty of liquid glass. Don't you worry about that.
Have you stepped off the deep end and installed the beta?
I did. So do we want to get into it? Because I'll tell you what. I'm doing two things right now that I am trying to paradigm shift through. All right. And I think you are doing at least one of these, maybe both. Let
me guess. Hold on. Don't tell me. I know what you're going to say.
Yeah, I'm already showing it.
Paradigm shift. No, I'm not looking. You're going to say Dia and iOS 26.
Correct.
Yes. I'm using them both. Yep.
Yeah.
I got to tell you this. Dude, I really like Dia.
I would be using it right now, but it's not currently the right as it turns out, for our niche use case of showing a volume of topics on stream, the Arc browser tabs still plays really well.
Yeah.
But Dia is interesting. The onboarding, by the way, very beautiful. Loved the onboarding experience. I got to give them props for that. In fact, I think, I see, you can see kind of this onboarding experience was beautiful. It gave me very Andy Allen vibes. It was, very played to the sound and the sound effects and things like that. They did go back to the top tabs, right? And they've kind of got this nested tab pattern underneath it for things you want to hold on to.
I think that they're going to bring back the sidebar, though.
I would like that. Now, why do you think that?
Well, I'm pretty sure that Josh said that in the post where he was like, I want to address Arc. Here's why we made the decisions we made. Here's what we're doing with Dia. We're going to give Arc users first access to Dia. We're going to bring back things like the sidebar. I'm pretty sure he said that. Because I'll tell you this, if you give me that sidebar, Dia is the perfect browser for me.
Dia's there's a I will say, and I'm not sure where I land on it yet. This is the whole thing. I'm going to talk about this with Liquid Glass in a second too. I'm okay pushing through the friction of adopting something new, even if the initial or learning curve puts me off a little bit, because I understand that sometimes it just takes a little bit of getting through that friction to get to something better.
Yeah.
And so the search versus chat box paradigm is different for me, but I've kind of been using it already with Perplexity. Now, there are things I don't love about that. Like, I feel like I've added, sometimes I want to search up an image. I do that a lot. And I've added an extra click through this new paradigm. I don't love that part, but I think that stuff will get kind of fixed and tailored. But I like it. But I'll tell you what, dude, I think it's going to come down to Perplexity's browser Comet and Dia. I can't wait to see them release Comet. I'm still on the Perplexity train. And I think these two new types of paradigms of like a chat box versus like our old search are going to be the big competitors.
Interesting. So I think that the good thing about Dia, at least from my usage, and I've been using it since Thursday, I think.
I've only used it for about 24 hours. So you have
which is yesterday. Yeah. So I downloaded it. I set up my account, and you know what I did? I set it to my default browser. I said, I'm just diving in.
You did the 1 week trial, or you just said like, yeah, set it default.
I just set it default. So I'm just diving
in the deep end.
Yep.
All right.
I'm just going in. I have closed Arc. It is now my main browser. The amount that I use the AI feature actually boggles my fucking mind. Like, I'm serious. Like, I use it for everything. Now. I'm just like, oh yeah, I was like shopping for some stuff. I was like, oh, like I need this. Like, what do people say about this? And then I said, let me mention this tab. Can you compare the two for me in like site specific Reddit, like, feedback, like whatever. I use the shit out of it. I love it. I haven't had it draft any emails or help me do any code stuff yet, but I've had it do a ton of just general LLM work that I would typically kind of pop in and out of like Perplexity or ChatGPT for, and just having it right there in my browser is awesome. The one thing that scares me is that I could see them not implementing the sidebar because they're using a right sidebar for the AI chat, and it's kind of obstructive when you pop it out and you have it as an overlay. That I'm not as excited about, but otherwise, I mean, it's fun. Here's the other thing too. Speaking of all of these companies that are shipping AI native products, the other one that I find myself using all the time is Granola.
Yeah.
Dude, I have questions about Granola.
It's been a huge part of my workflow in a number of ways. And I'm kind of stoked because we get to talk to Sam today about it, who just joined us right now. Sam, I'm going to bring you on up, man. Good to see you, sir.
All right.
How you doing?
How you doing, guys?
It is good to have you, Sam. I got to tell you, what you guys have created with Granola has become the sneaky underbelly of everything that I do in my workflow. And I think that's probably something that you're seeing with a lot of people using Granola this year too, yeah?
Yeah. It's people use it in a lot of creative ways, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's like one of my favorite things about building tools is people use it in all kinds of ways that you didn't anticipate when you built it.
Yeah. Sam, I got a question for you, sir. Typically when we have somebody come on that's designing a product or CEO of a product, whatever, one of the things that we like to do is have them demo it for us. Because the majority of the time, it might not be something that Tommy and I are daily driving. But I think what's interesting here is we both daily drive Granola. Like
I drive that thing into the floor.
Yeah, dude.
I've got folders. I'm using it for everything.
Can I show you?
Go ahead. Let me see. Yeah.
Home screen, baby. Home screen.
Hey.
Yeah. I use it for everything. When I'm driving, I'll just turn it on. I'll just talk to it. You know what I mean? But dude, I'm curious, not to throw you like right into the fire, but the design of Granola is fairly straightforward. It's magical, but straightforward. What makes me most curious is like, how are you guys using Granola internally? That's what I would love to see. Tommy, are you game for that?
I'm actually very curious. And before you answer, yeah, go ahead and answer that. I have a question for you afterwards. There's a use case I want that might be a little, unorthodox.
A little bespoke.
Yeah. you got me excited. Okay. How do we use it internally? I mean, we use it in all our meetings. Like everyone uses it in our meetings. Like internal stand-ups every day. We have like user interviews, sales calls, all the hiring interviews. Kind of like everything that's going on in the company is like going through Granola for us. And I think I don't know, the stuff that gets me excited is the like team collaboration multiplayer stuff we're slowly trying to work in at the moment. Lets you kind of treat it not just as a personal notebook, but as like a hive mind of what's happening in the company. And that feels like it's already useful, but I think it's going to be so much more useful over time. I was just out for 2 weeks getting married, and I got back, and I basically go to Granola and just ask it like, hey, write me like a document on everything that I've missed in the last 2 weeks. Like, what are all the big decisions that have been made? What's new stuff, things like that. And it gets it because like everything that talks about inside. And I think we've seen some teams getting to that level of usage, but we have like a way to go for most people to be using it like that. But that's the goal long term. Yeah.
So I want to ask you, there's probably the use cases you just described are probably the fairly common use cases I would imagine where you're seeing a lot of your customers using Granola. I use it for a lot of those same things. I use it for things like when I have podcast interviews to capture those interviews in a way that I can refer back to, all those use cases. What are some of the strange use cases you guys haven't thought of? Because, for example, I've got this poster right here. I've got a shirt that's referencing one of my favorite pastimes, which is Dungeons and Dragons. So I'm a dungeon master. And if you're unfamiliar, when you have a Dungeons and Dragons session, these things are like 4 hours long. And as a dungeon master, I've got to be referring back to the story, all my notes, all kinds of unpredictable things happen on the table session across 4 or 5 different people at the table. And one of the hardest things to do is to continue taking notes about all the things that are happening over the 4 hours of that time. So I've thought to myself, I wonder if I could turn Granola on and record this absolutely robust 4 hours long session across 6 different people at a table. I have not tried this yet because it seems like maybe that wouldn't be the best use case. Have you seen use cases like that? And can Granola be my note taker for a 4-hour D&D session?
We've had definitely one person has messaged in saying this exact use case. Like they use it for all their Dungeons and Dragons sessions.
They actually do. They say that they've been using it successfully.
Yeah.
Oh, that's incredible, man.
Yeah. So I want to hear how it goes. You should give it a try. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. What are some of the other like weird things that you hadn't expected that people are using Granola for?
Podcasting, actually, like Rid, right? Like Dive Club podcast. I think he uses it to one for like the pre-podcast chat to like gather notes. That's like a pretty classic use case. But then he also uses it while editing. I think he like has a session of Granola running while he's editing, and basically will like, because he's kind of playing the sound out again and again, he can write notes on things that he thinks are interesting, and then he's got kind of ways to get back to those timestamps like as he's pulling the podcast together. So that was out there. Like, I think it works super well for stuff outside of tech, like doctor visits and like we had a building contractor come in and give us a quote for something the other day, and like I swear the notes for that are like even better than like a businessy meeting. Like it just nails like everything you care about, like what are they going to do, what are the risks, how much is it going to cost, all that kind of shit. So yeah.
Was your thesis going into building Granola did you already have the idea? Because I think what's becoming very evident now, and it almost seems obvious in hindsight to the rest of us, that the source of truth for teams and collaboration isn't the Notion workspace. It's not the Confluence in Atlassian. It's in the conversations we are having every day.
Yeah.
And I think that is becoming such a new nugget of, whoa, I hadn't thought about that because there was never a way for us to capture that. Did you already go into building Granola with that as the thesis, or has that been kind of a new insight?
I think it's, I don't know. It's we definitely talk about it a lot now. I think it's kind of, it's come out of the woodwork, like as we've been building it. Yeah, I think when we started, I guess I came from designing like other note-taking apps, like general purpose note-taking apps. And I think the thing that motivates note-taking apps and that kind of world of software is like often, it doesn't map often super well to like how ordinary people think about the work they're trying to get done. You know, you have people create these like tagging systems and folders and everything's got to be super organized. And most people's productivity software like stops at like Gmail or maybe Notion if you're lucky. But like most people, the tools they use are actually like in a way less sophisticated. But I think it's because they map better to how they think. You know, it's like Gmail is all about like conversation threads that you have going at any given time with a person, and that just like maps much more naturally to how you think about the work you're doing. So like the initial motivation for me at least was like, can we build a productivity tool that works for ordinary people, and a lot of that was like orienting around meetings and people and relationships rather than like more abstract concepts.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think like you guys did something really baller, and I was pretty hyped up about it on the show when it happened. But right after Notion announced their Granola like clone, you guys rolled out the new Granola. I think it was 2.0. Is that right? Like the next day, which was pretty baller. But you also went with the new tag of like your team's second brain. And that's a really interesting thing to consider, is like the second brain for a team, which inherently makes you think that there's going to be a lot more notes and writing kind of involved in that, more like memos alongside your meetings. Do you see a world in which Granola is adding more of those features to create like rich text documents and link them to each other? Or are you all really going to stay focused on capturing audio and making use of that?
I think, yeah, over time, for sure. I think we want to move in, like let you do more of that kind of stuff. Like, I think we'll do it from a, like, I think what's the success we've had so far, I think, has come from a lot like paranoid focus on just solving a very kind of constrained use case and not like trying to overdo it and add too much complexity to the app. And so I think we kind of need to take the same approach here, I think. And so I think if we start to build more like documents or other formats of things, they should be anchored around like the most common, most pressing use cases that our users have today. So I think you might see us basically over time, like kind of graduate from just meeting notes to helping solve some of the kind of immediate workflows around meetings. And if we do it well there, then we kind of earn the right to go one layer out and do like the next set of workflows, you know. And, if we keep doing well enough over time, then yeah, we might be able to solve a lot of your work there. But
I've thought about this. So Francis says, if Granola comes out with a physical product that just passively listens to all my interactions, that would be amazing. And I have to agree, there are times now where I'm call me old school, guys. I'll have a phone call with a teammate. Yeah. And we cover some really good stuff, and I'm like, damn it, I wish I had Granola running it when we were having that conversation. You know?
Yeah.
Is that true though, Tommy? Because you and I both have rewind pendants, which basically, in a way, it's a physical Granola device, except the software is way shittier. I don't use it. I literally just open Granola on my phone and sit it on the table. You know what I mean?
I thought I threw it away, but I do still have it. It collects dust. Yeah.
How many times have you used it?
I've used it 0.
Yeah, because you don't want to go fetch it, right? Which is the nice thing about granola on your phone is you just start. It's got a great mic. It's got a lot of battery. It's connected to everything.
Granola won't listen to phone calls.
I'd love if it did. It's a technical Apple API.
I was going to ask you about that because you give it seems like the opinion that Granola takes is that the user can be the person to decide to disclose if Granola is listening. Granola will not have a strong opinion one way or the other, except if it has to adhere to the privacy, the security features on the device, correct?
Yeah.
And it's funny because now I get into these meetings and you'll have like fireflies coming. Like it seems so old school now to me to see somebody's transcriber hanging out with, or if you're the first one to the call and you're hanging out with the other person's transcriber.
You can't say anything. You're just gonna sit there like
but I agree. Have you guys thought about getting into the physical game at some point? I'm sure it's crossed your mind.
Yeah, I think we have. I think there's always this tension with this kind of thing where like I think there's a lot of benefit to being a thing that you have to explicitly turn on. You know, it solves so many privacy issues, and just like I think we're a lot less creepy. And like one of the things that I think the bots struggle with, the meeting bots struggle with, is it's like you as the user of the bot kind of stop feeling like you're in control, and therefore it doesn't feel like it's kind of your tool to use when you want to. And I think, I don't know, my concern would be that anything that was like automatically recording or like being more proactive about that kind of thing would take away the feeling of control you have, and that would freak a lot of people out. I would love, like, there's way too much friction in using Granola, like especially on the phone at the moment. I'd love to figure out ways to make that easier and more effortless. Like the biggest problem we have for the mobile app is helping you remember to use it when you want to use it.
I literally will interrupt. I'll interrupt conversations. I'll be like, hold that thought, and I'll go and I'll start Granola on my computer, my phone, and be like, okay, let's continue.
But you kind of need a rewind button, right, to get the last like 30 seconds. Because
I need the remote from Click.
Great that you remember.
Yeah.
The immediate thing I do after I put Granola on, the conversation has ended, is I go in there and I'll do two things. Typically, I'll summarize a portion of the conversation that I need to extract, or I'll just turn key takeaways into some sort of tasks. I find myself really doing those two behaviors more often than anything else. And it makes me wonder, is Granola an early stage project management tool of sorts, right? Have you thought about it that way?
Yeah, it's like, it's come up. It's like the first thing I think people tend to ask after they get, like they discover the value of the notes is like, you know, actually, like, notes are great, but like action items are the thing I care about most from the notes. Like, can you help me and be better at those? I think we will over time. I think the tension we have to navigate is like, or the challenge we had with notes from the beginning was like, you have a transcript which is like thousands of words long from a half-an-hour meeting, and you got to figure out like, what's the high signal version? Like, how do we compress this down in a way where it's like all the stuff you care about and none of the stuff that you don't? And it's a pretty, like, getting meeting notes that people feel good about, that don't feel like full of fluff or like they've missed the point, is hard. But I think the bar for action items is like even higher. Like if Granola's telling you to do things that you don't agree with, or that where it kind of like misses the mark, I think it's like worse than, it's not dead space in the app. It's like actively bad. So I think the game for us, I think, will be like, I actually think this is kind of a rule of like designing for AI products. Is it's like so easy to overpromise and underdeliver, and actually you want to do the opposite. You want to underpromise and overdeliver. And so I think the game for us will be figuring out like what's the really low promise thing we can ship first that will get you a bunch of return, and we're not going to solve like your whole to-do list, but if we can help you remember like the one or two most important things and trust you to figure out the rest, then maybe that's enough.
Sam, it was so refreshing to hear you say that, though, by the way, in a year where that has been, in the last 2 years, that have been hyped of over promises and under delivery. It was very refreshing to hear somebody say what you just said. We have someone, Kyle's asking here, Is there any reason Granola doesn't let you drop in recorded audio and then do its thing?
I would love to build that. Yeah, there's not a good reason, honestly. Like, I think like, it's I guess it's like a power usery thing. It's the kind of thing that you have to like fall in love with Granola first to decide that you're going to do that. We tend to, like, when we're making trade-offs of like who's, you know, what do we build this or do we build this? I say we probably are on the side of making Granola feel really approachable and easy to use for newer people or for less technical. But it's something I would love to build. Like, I think, like, both for user utility and selfishly as a company, if we can let you import stuff into Granola, it's like a way to get you to switch off of whatever you were doing, or, you know, make it easier to switch off whatever you're doing before. So there's incentives from all sides for us to do that, which we just need to prioritize it.
I have one last question before you get out of here, and I appreciate you joining us, Sam.
Thank you guys.
In every tool that's coming out, Perplexity just got Perplexity Labs. I saw people over there creating games in Perplexity now. They've got Comet. Dia just came out from Browser Company. When can I browse the internet and create apps in Granola?
Yeah, when are you going to ask me what do I want to build from my meeting notes?
Definitely not anytime soon.
Yeah. Well, pretty interesting times, man. I'm really excited. Your team's how big?
We are 20 now, 2021, something like that.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is fantastic.
You guys are putting that 60 million to use.
That is
We're trying to grow. We're trying to grow. If you're watching and you're based in London or you want to be based in London, you should come and talk to me. Yeah.
Oh, who are you looking for? What types of roles?
Kind of everything. Like product engineers, engineers who are excited to build user-facing stuff, I guess. Designers, design engineers, like, especially, you know, if you've got a good design sense but can build stuff too, then I definitely want to talk to you. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, that's fantastic. Hey man, thank you so much for coming on and just shooting it with us for a little bit. You heard it. If you're looking to join what I think is going to be one of the best companies to come out of 2025, they're looking for you. Go hit them up. Thank you, Sam. We'll talk to you soon, man.
Thanks, guys. See you soon.
Take care.
See you, Sam.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, so hackathon, Granola hackathon.
Dude, I like that they raised 60 million bucks and they're like, you know what? We're only hiring people in London. That makes my heart happy, dude.
Yeah, pretty nuts. I was great. I was so stoked Sam joining us today. One of my faves. Dude, I saw that you and Brett, by the way, speaking of hackathons, you and Brett were gonna go live or did go. I wasn't able to catch it this week.
We were gonna go live yesterday.
And the freaking internet died.
Yeah. I was like, I texted him because I saw it fast because I've been heads down coding all day, every day. And so I'm like working and I'm building a new feature on something for one of the apps in Service OS. And I start getting these cores issues. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, why am I getting cores issues? Like, I didn't do anything. And so I'm like checking the Supabase status and it's all good. And I'm like restarting my server and like all this shit. And then I'm like, no, something must be wrong. So I feel like I knew about it like 10 minutes before the rest of the world did. And then Shirley said, sure enough, Supabase is like, yeah, we're having an outage. So that was a kind of shitty way to spend my afternoon yesterday.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. And I look, and so, I mean, it all originated with, was this a Cloudflare issue? I'm not super up to speed on what happened. Do you know what the deal was?
So Cloudflare was even saying that an upstream provider for them was having the issue, which makes me wonder, like, who the fuck is upstream of Cloudflare?
Yeah.
GCP was down, AWS was down. I mean, it was pretty widespread. And look, I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but the fact that all of these services went down at the same exact fucking time, somebody did something. You know what I mean? And it makes me so curious. Like, why is that not a top fucking news story the next day? It's where it's like, yo, all of these critical internet infrastructure services went down at once. Something just happened.
Well, and then the memes come out, and I saw some kid come out, and he's like, "I just lost my job at Cloudflare.
Yeah.
I pushed a PR from Devin." Like, I was like, "Oh man." And what's funny is like people weren't sure if it was satire. They're like, "Wait a second, I can't tell because this sounds plausible. You know, this sounds like something that might happen this year." But that was pretty nuts. So let's get into this though. All right, let's get into this, guys. I know our feeds have been absolutely hammered with WWDC, specifically the liquid glass on the design world. Everyone's been talking about this. I've upgraded. So I upgraded to the beta. I want to say it was Wednesday, maybe. All right.
Yep.
Aesthetically, this has a thing that's cool in the right context, which we see right here. So this is one of the interaction designers at Apple sharing this. Like right here in a vacuum, this looks dope. I think this looks great on Vision OS. I, for those who are unaware, have an eye issue. One of my eyes like is kind of just jacked up. One of my lenses in my glasses is actually a prism lens. And so it's very easy for my eyes to get fatigued in reading just the natural world, right? But when I look at this and as I'm using the liquid glass on my phone, when I see remnants of content from behind the interface coming, you know, even if through a blurred mechanism coming through, it's a little jarring for me. And I don't know if that's related to my eye issues or not, but either way, I think I'm just getting old and it's a skill issue, which is totally possible. But I will say when they came out with the dynamic island and we just saw a video preview of the dynamic island, little bar that sits at the top of your phone and changes based on context, I threw a stink on the internet and said, hey, this is going to be a usability issue. It gets in the way, all these things. And then I tried it. And then I was like, oh, I'm an idiot. This is actually pretty dope. It's not really that useful. Like years removed now as I've used it, it doesn't bring a ton of like, oh man, I'm so glad the dynamic island exists. But it occasionally makes me go, oh, that's pretty cool. But it's largely out of the way. It's not the usability nightmare I thought it would be.
Yeah.
And so I said, okay, I at first glance really don't love this liquid glass UI. However, let me give it a fair shot. So I installed it. I've been using it. Man, I am having a hard time coming around to this.
Interesting.
Yeah. What are your opinions so far? Everyone has been sharing their opinions. We'll go through some of these on the internet here, but I want to hear what you've got.
I have a lot of thoughts.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay, but first let's talk table stakes. Okay, let's put our cards out there. I have it installed on my phone, and I have it installed on my iPad.
Okay, I don't have the iPad.
Let's get the iPad out of the way right now. It is fucking awesome. It's fucking.
So you posted this on Twitter. You're like, man, it was so cool, and I was like, was
it?
Dude,
yes. I'll tell you why. There's a couple of core things. Let me grab my iPad here. I have for years, basically since the iPad Pro came out, I've kept an iPad Pro. And every year they come out with a new version of iPad OS. And I'm like, oh, maybe this will get me to actually use my iPad.
They've let you down so much that
they've let me down so much. No, it's not a tiny improvement though. It's like a computer now. That's the weird thing. So here's what's interesting about this. I'm going to verbalize this and then we'll, people, if you're fucking curious, like go watch a YouTube video on it, but I'm going to verbalize it. You can now, okay, when you open a fucking page, if you go to the top left of a page, you get your Mac. Come on, computer. You get your little buttons.
Yeah.
Okay. So for full screen, minimize, close,
green light, the whole thing. Yeah.
Yes. You now have a menu bar at the top. So if you take your cursor up to the top of the screen, you get your little, Safari, file, view, edit, history, all that. And I'm like, okay, that's great. But now you can also just do whatever you want with the applications in the background. You have expose. Basically, the only thing that separates this right now from a pure Mac is that the home screen still has icons on it and that the file system's a little different, right? Outside of that, you 100%, like if I was going to take a trip, I'd probably just take my iPad, Right. And I'm a fucking sicko. I've got a Mac Studio. I've got a max out MacBook Pro. I've got a fucking max out MacBook Air. I've got an iPad Pro. I've got a Vision OS. Like I got everything. Okay. I love Apple. But I also am a realist about what they're doing. And here are my thoughts, my honest thoughts. There's a lot of stuff in this that feels magical. There's a lot of stuff that feels choppy. And I'm one of the weirdos that installs the the developer beta every year. So as soon as they announce a new version of iOS, that day I install the developer beta. I throw caution to the wind and I go with it. And so I've seen for years now how they'll drop something, it'll be wonky, and then they'll refine the shit out of it before it gets released.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to show you this. So I use Apple Music. And one of the things I love, this is such a little detail. I'm pulling this album up. Okay. So as I scroll, it hides and then it comes back. It hides and it comes back. And those little things to where you see the background movement and stuff like that, that feels magical to me. This one took me forever to get used to, is on Safari, how the bar at the bottom now, it's like, how do I get all my windows?
Yeah.
Well, what you do is you just drag up and then boom, there they are. So there are little interaction methods that feel so nice, so just natural to me that I'm into it. I think had they not announced the clear glass version of the app icons on the home screen, it would have gotten way less hate. Way less hate.
I mean, it's a minor but kind of a big thing, visual adjustment to announce. And I'd say there's other criticisms that have gotten drowned out that are probably just as, if not more valid, which we'll get into in just a second. But I will say, yeah, installing the beta is always kind of a pain in the butt, because right now I've got that issue.
The
Beta works. What's wrong with beta?
Beta.
You can say beta.
No, you can't. It's beta.
It's the same word.
Oh my god.
It's tomato. It's beta. It's beta. It's
Chat.
beta.
We got a Zeitgeist.
You can install the beta.
It's beta.
Anyways, I don't know about that one. I stand on beta, but I will say this. The Slack, you getting wonkiness in Slack with the message field in your phone right now? Yeah, it's driving me fucking nuts. I hate it. But okay, so all that's fair and fine, and our feeds have been full. And by the way, so my takeaway on the iPad is you're just happy that you have a handheld MacBook Pro now. Okay, great. So
yes, it's easier to use while I'm taking a shit. Yes.
Okay, that's fair. That is totally fair. And it's like I agree with this criticism. Like, we want better AI. Apple says the best we can do is glass, and it's like, damn, man. Like, can we please get some? Can we get something from you guys? Can we get some AI? And I get it. I know that, like, they're really being cautious. In fact, I didn't read the report. Did you read this or even see about this? So they published the report, basically research paper
about LLMs.
Yeah. And it's like calling the reasoning models, like, it just kind of saying, hey, listen, we don't totally buy that these are the value add everyone thinks they are yet. And it's just, the timing of all these things just could be better in their favor. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So we see a lot of that, and then we're given this. We're given shit like this. Like, this messes with me, dude. Messes with me a lot. Okay. I gotta call this out. This is what my entire feed has been like today, and it's true. This is what we've.
Yeah, this was a great tweet from Alex. Shout out Alex.
Yeah, huge.
that has 7,000 likes now. Is that what that says?
That's 7.5. Yeah,
I love it.
192,000 views. I love that. Here's another one, because we all saw the liquid glass video player button, and it's like, no, you guys are missing it. Now with liquid glass, you don't have these issues. I thought that was pretty money.
All right. So here's my thinking though. Okay. So going back to having a Vision Pro, Apple introduced this glass-like UI with the Vision Pro, right? And so when you open the Vision Pro, you throw it on. That's kind of the interaction paradigm that you have. And maybe that's why for me, I was way more familiar with the glass. Like I saw like Sebastian DeWitt's post about glass, and it's like, yeah, they're 100% going to do that, whatever. Here's my thing. And I don't want to sound like an Apple fanboy, because I do think that they have fucking dropped the ball on AI. Although being able to run language models on device is fucking crazy. And we'll get into that maybe next week or something.
Sure.
But here's the deal. They have always been the leader in uniformity, right? They are better than anyone at creating a consistent experience across all of their products. And they will occasionally do a little beta test right in front of us. And nobody really, like, Apple gets so glazed over, like, not pun intended, that people will like miss the things that they're doing. And so everybody missed the whole beta test that was happening with the Vision Pro. They're like, it's a flop. Who uses it 3 weeks later? But you missed the fact that like they're doing something really important there. And now the fact that they're bringing glass to the device. Here's my question, Tommy. Okay. If you were going to roll out an augmented reality device, right, that you wear on your fucking eyeballs to look through,
sure,
don't you think that the UI for that would be very glass-like, to where you're seeing the world
100%.
behind the interface?
100%.
Okay. And so here's my thing. Them doing this on the iPhone and the huge push that they're making into this glass UI, this new paradigm of like natural interaction and all the shit that they're trying to call it, it tells me that the AR device is not that far off.
No, and I don't think so. But the question becomes, should cross modality, like, well, consistency is great. Not going to knock consistency, but do you need consistency cross modality? And I don't think that that's always the case, because like I don't need to have consistency in how I voice interact with my with voice devices on my point and click machine. Like that doesn't make sense to me. And I don't know that I see, now listen, unless they're telling me like I'm going to turn this into this is now how I'm experiencing the world, then maybe that becomes like a better argument. But I don't see how a point and tap device needs the same consistency as something that's spatial. That part is a little strange to me, but time will tell. I also think, by the way, I think they're going to improve this. I don't think we're seeing, I think by the time this really gets to general population, I wouldn't be surprised if the glass UI, the liquid glass, already goes through a couple of revisions.
Did I just hear a bell ring?
I put it on this, yeah, you did. All right.
Okay. It's like, what the fuck?
So when the beta's done, I think like when they launch this thing, I think it's going to be, we'd probably have at least a revision associated with it on the actual interface.
Yes, 100%. I think there's going to be a massive revision with it. I don't think that they're going to turn away from the glass. I think they're going to fix a lot of the readability. Like right now on your lock screen, the pure glass notifications can be really difficult to read. Like there's a lot of wonky shit. But what I'm saying is like, it's like this every year. Right. And by the time they get to the Golden Master release, like they'll have fixed it all. Because you also have to think like this is their biggest product, period. Right. This is the cash cow for Apple. The last thing they're ever going to do in the world is fuck up accessibility for it. Ever.
I mean, yeah, maybe. Listen,
I don't think they'll make that mistake.
Apple's fantastic at accessibility. The thing Apple does really well is they can do things that seem inaccessible on the surface because they have world-class accessibility options, right? They have that ability for you to go in and actually adjust that. In fact, I remember seeing the video because I have the eye condition I have and my eyes sometimes go like this. When the Vision Pro came out, there was a TikToker who was like, guys, I don't think you realize just how dope this is. He had the same exact issue I have, but his was extremely pronounced. And he was able to turn on a feature, and Apple had already thought about this issue, something you guys probably never even have to consider. And they're like, nah, if your eyes are crazy like mine, we got you. And they'd already considered it. So I give them credit for that. I don't think the accessibility is the big issue here that everyone thinks it is. But, we'll see. I just don't know if I love it.
I think they'll fix it. And if your eyes don't work with it, go get your eyes lasered,
I can't get my eyes lasered because my eyes do this. I'm disqualified for LASIK because you need to be able to sit your eyes straight And if you have my eye condition, the more you focus on things, the more your muscles compensate and shake. It's a muscle issue. And it's a strange one. It's a very strange one. It's called a nystagmus. It's actually what cops check for if you are intoxicated. And so I have to tell them a nystagmus. So I have to tell them a word I can pronounce correctly. I have to tell them like, yo, I'm not intoxicated. I got a thing. Because I'm always getting pulled up, I'm not. But yeah, it's a whole thing, man.
You get pulled over. They're like, "Wait, sir, we need you out of this vehicle." You open the door, beer cans just.
It has happened twice in my life where I've had to like really tell them like, "I'll do your sobriety test," but like I'm not. My eyes are just wild. That's what it's a condition.
Let me ask you this: if you do get pulled over, which I hope is not a frequent thing, right? Are you like submissive to the police, or are you like, "Hey, fuck you! Why'd you pull me over"? What side of that are you?
So I'm very chill. I talk like I'm like, yo, what's up, bro? I'm former Marine. I know they probably, dropped out of fucking army camp. And I'm like, yo, what's up, dude? And I'll talk to him and hang out. And I have no issues. I never run into problems with cops.
Dude, I had in Chicago here, I was a couple of years ago. I had a cop pull up next to me. He goes, "Why are you speeding?" I was like, "Dude, I'm not speeding." He goes, "My name's not dude, it's officer." And I was like, I go, "Oh, my bad, dude." I was like, "Do you want to pull me over?" And I just fucking kept going.
No, I don't like the chest thumpy stuff, but I'm a pretty friendly guy. Pretty friendly dude.
You seem pretty friendly.
Yeah.
You seem like a nice guy. You know what you seem like? You seem like a beta male.
Yeah, I saw someone put that, the Alpha Beta Charlie. I know it's Bravo. Yeah, get out of here, Devin. I just gave you a shout out today in my brand new sweaty garage studio.
Oh, you gave Devin a shout out in your sweaty garage studio.
Speaking of porn because he made a pretty dope little website, Emily Not Found. If you haven't seen it,
I saw that. That was pretty nice. The other thing that Devin did that was really nice, and he got some praise for it. So I want to be careful. I don't want to give Devin too much praise because I feel like he'll turn into a wild animal if we do that. But I saw Kyle shouted out Devin's little article about burnout, and you know what I did? I read it, and then I was like, "Hold on, this is a great use case." And then I had Dia summarize it for me.
So let's see it. Let's see the summary.
Oh, okay, yeah. Hold on.
I'm curious. I haven't done a lot of super edge use case stuff.
Here you go.
With
right
Dia, yeah. Okay, burn baby burn. It's about design burnout.
He shares a candid reflection on burnout, describing how it can creep in unnoticed and become a persistent part of life. Let me ask this: is Devin being a baby? Is he an alpha male or a beta male? Not a sign of being a baby. Look at that. See, it's very thoughtful. Oh, look, beta male. Oh, hold on. They don't capture the complexity of real people. Devin's writing doesn't fit neatly into either label. Oh, wow. Look at this. You know what? I think Dia is woke. It's not the Andrew Tate of browser LLMs.
I don't want an Andrew Tate either, but I don't want the woke. I don't want. Oh man.
Let's not get into that right now. Dude, so back to this Apple thing. I'm excited for it. I'm excited when a company comes out and does something that feels new from a UI perspective, which it feels like the only company that gives us that at scale is Apple, which is kind of sad, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Like, Android's certainly not pushing any fucking UI boundaries. So if Apple's the one that's got to lead the way and they have to stumble a little bit when doing it, I'm fine with that.
What was the meme? Like Windows Vista crawled, so liquid glass. Yeah. And I was thinking about it, and I'm over here trying to, and you're doing the same thing, secure. We're trying to lock in good guests to talk about design and to talk about a lot of the future of these products being developed. Not once have I thought about Apple in the last 2-3 months. Like, oh, let me go talk to somebody at Apple because they really are the epitome of where things are going. That has not been part of my thinking. And I've locked in all these hitters, even Google Labs I've got coming on because, they had a couple like Stitch and a few things. And so, maybe this is, I go, hey, let me talk to somebody who is designing liquid glass. That's still not that interesting to me. Like, okay, it's interesting and the internet's talking about it, but it's like, okay, well, maybe that'll become more of an interesting paradigm when I see it applied to this spatial use case more, which it is, but like, I'm still just, I don't look at Apple right now and think I really want to hear from them at the moment.
I mean, dude, how is that not interesting? Like, I understand that maybe
liquid glass, you mean?
From a design perspective, maybe it's not that interesting, right? But at the same time, they're shipping to basically more users than anyone.
100% for sure. And so there probably is. This is probably a moment where it's like, cool, actually, I would love to talk to somebody on that team about what this is like and the things that maybe the blind spots little freaking dumb nerds like me don't see. I think there's probably a great conversation to be had there. But prior to the WWDC, I really wasn't thinking about them. And so, I guess we'll give them the credit there. This is interesting to see that happen. What I don't love is folks like this. I'm going to call this guy out because, man, product design at Roblox. Chris Wallace here. Chris Wallace, you're a fucking clown. This guy comes out and he says, Apple did it again. And basically the entire summary of this take is most designers aren't good enough to understand how glorious this thing is. And I responded in the comments here and I said, bro, this is the gatekeepy ass bullshit that makes me want to improve the media in design and tech, because the kind of people coming out and saying, hey, you guys are not good enough to understand the genius behind Apple, to me is what is precisely wrong. And listen, I was once a contributor to some of this clown show stuff.
Can we pause? I just gotta interrupt you for 1 second because the gravity of this is hitting me. I'm sorry. I'm just reading. Apple's liquid glass aesthetic is the adult table. And a lot of folks are realizing they've been stuck in the kids UX corner for way too long. And then I read that. And then I connected the dots of what you just said a moment ago. You said Chris Wallace, product designer at Roblox?
Product design at Roblox. So I don't know.
Arguably the most dog shit fucking design product of all time. Like Craigslist is prettier than Roblox.
Roblox does have a place amongst the youths that is pretty compelling, though. I will give them that.
Because it's a meme. It's a meme to them.
Well, there's a lot more going on in the Roblox ecosystem than just meming. This is the entry point for a lot of the next generation of developers for those kids. So I got to give Roblox its credit. There is a piece of this that are teaching kids to build, and I have to give them a kudos to that, because it is the entry point. There's a whole generation of kids who are going to come up and say the first thing I ever created was a Roblox mod. I'm with you. I'm down to shit on this guy. Don't get me wrong. I just want to give Roblox, and I'm sure he worked on like the. I'm not going to say it. I'll hold off on that remark.
Dude, okay. This is mind-bogglingly bad take.
Yeah, it was so bad, and I'm like, dude, like this is the kind of stuff that gets me fired up. I'm like, oh man, let's bring out the beta male, right? Bring out the beta male.
The beta male. This man isn't an alpha male.
The next generation of AAA video games. I have zero doubt about that. Devin says. I agree. I think there's a lot of. I'm not knocking Roblox as I don't actually use it a lot, but I know that my kids and their friends do a lot of stuff with it. I know that it has created an eco. So anyway, it's not to turn this into, because every take that Hunter has, I have to argue with it. But I think let's why don't we hold on to a moment where we're aligned in lockstep against takes like this, right?
I'm aligned against this take.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also think that Roblox is ugly.
One of my kids can code. I'm so confused right now. Are we angry or how do we feel, chat? What side are we on? Tell me what to think.
Here's what we think, guys. We think that this guy shouldn't insult other designers.
No, and truly, that's the whole reason, man. I'm out here. Got a media company name coming out. I want to run by you, but I just want to give a quick shout out. Want to give a quick shout out to the Discord. We do have invites opening up July 1st, but tonight we have the Purge coming. So we are actively kicking out any of you who have not rogered up in the Purge protocol. It's our first Purge of the year. We will have one every month. Dude, we've got hitters. We've got everyone from Fee to Jay to Tatiana to Inga. Like, we have all of the dopest designers hanging out in here. And tonight, I'm going to just allow you guys to create my Baldur's Gate 3 character. Totally undesign related. This group is so unhinged that I'm going to let them create my Baldur's Gate 3 character, and I'm going to play through. Now, I'm not going to stream every playthrough, but I will have regular updates, and we will have critical playthroughs on key moments. And whatever you guys design for me as my character is, in fact, going to be the thing I'm stuck with. So it's going to be a fun time tonight. This is the kind of thing I like, man. Like hanging out with the folks.
This is interesting.
Fun stuff.
This is interesting. I like it. Okay. Hold on. You said something about company name.
Internet Enjoyers Media Company, the umbrella company name.
Internet Enjoyers Media Company.
That's it. That's it, dude. And I'll tell you
drop the media company. It's cleaner.
Internet Enjoyers is going to be our brand. So the same way you've got Work Inc. or you've got Creative Department, we will have Internet Enjoyers as a brand. We're working on the merch as we speak.
Speaking of brands, I announced a new brand this week.
Ooh, do tell.
I did. I shared a little something, a little new brand that's going to be releasing soon.
You did, sir. I meant to call this out. Let's talk about it.
I did. I shared this with the fine people of the interwebs.
Yes, I love this logo, by the way. That is the sickest thing in the way that like transforms. Zoom in on that thing. The way that transforms. Give me a Command ++, maybe. Yeah, there we go.
I'll give you lots of Command pluses. You can have all the Command pluses you want.
Hey, who was that Petter 2 right there with the little shifty S?
That is Petter OS right there.
That's incredible, man.
That's Petter OS.
Just absolute banger after banger he produces. That is clean.
That's what we do. We stay busy on the bangers.
So Service OS, this is going to be a service, a product that helps people like me run our teams, our businesses, our operations with agentic AI workflows, right?
Yes. No? Here's the deal. I'm not going to tell you yet.
Okay.
I'm not going to say it yet. I'm not going to say it.
All right. I don't know how you like to tease your stuff, man. I don't know where we go with it. So, okay, I'll wait.
Here's where I'm at with it. Okay. Here's where I'm at with these things. I'll tease it when the time is right. You know what I mean? So where we're at right now is to just let people know that it's coming. Okay.
Lee Black says you're producing marbles. Marble company.
That would be cool.
That's a marble company. He wants boring businesses. He is creating a marble company.
I do like boring businesses, but not that Cody Sanchez can't have boring businesses.
Ooh, shots fired for no reason. Okay.
No, she talks about like laundromats and stuff.
That is her brand, like laundromats and stuff.
Yeah. That's not a shot.
Okay.
I'll say this. So the conversation we had internally was like, okay, what are we going to build? So we built something that works really well, and it is how Off Menu operates. And so Off Menu uses the first product in Service OS, but we didn't want to build one thing, right? So we said, let's build a lot of things, and let's make it a collection of products that are not interchangeable, but they can be connected like Lego blocks. You can use them on their own, or you can use them all together. It's up to you. And they are pretty interesting, the things that they can do. So the first one is going to come out. I don't know if it'll come out. It won't come out in June. It'll come out in July. We'll start beta testing with a few.
I would say we've only got 2 weeks left here.
Yeah, we'll start beta testing with a few people in June, but it'll come out in July. It's going to be sick. We're already starting work on the second product, and we know what the third is as well. So we're going to be cranking. One of the things we're building, I don't know if it'll actually go into Service OS or if it'll just be something completely separate. But it's something that I've wanted for a long time and I'm really hyped up about. So it's going to be cool. We're just going to be shipping shit left and right.
I love that. That is sick. Well, I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to test it because it sounds like, assuming it's more than listen, if it's marbles, I will use them in my D&D campaign. I will beta test those as well. If it's something I can use in the business, then I will beta test that also. Lee Black says Marble Service Inc. So there you go.
Different brand interesting.
Name. Yeah. Lee coming with the fire per usual. There's something else you've been building, by the way. Using someone we all know and love, a good product called Bolt, and that hackathon is largely underway. My God, 80,000 plus people using Bolt to hack away. There's 2 weeks and a couple of days left on that thing. I don't know about you. Even while I've been filming and doing these other things, I'm kind of tapping into the Discord that they're in. I just kind of watch what people are posting. I'm looking at there's a Bolt Hackathon Twitter group that I've kind of been following, and some of what's cool, and this wasn't happening in the first week, to my knowledge. I wasn't seeing a lot of people building in public quite yet. A couple of folks who said, hey, I'm going to do a thing. Well, we're finally at the stage where people are starting to share that process, that journey, meaningful work that they have. And one of those people has been Brett. You two have been building out this roast. What's it called here? Roast GPT.
Roast GPT. Yeah.
I love this. And he's been designing some stuff for it. I think you've been coding with Bolt around this. And like we had talked about, you guys were going to go live with this yesterday before the internet died. How's it looking, man? Like, how's the process been? Are you guys going to win this hackathon? What's going on?
Well, we're definitely not going to win. Okay.
With that attitude.
Well, we can't. We're sponsored. You know what I mean? So it's just for shits and giggles. You know.
That's fair.
You know what I mean? Like, we can't double dip. You know. But I think that this thing is going to be pretty amusing. Brett has got some designs. We got to implement those designs. We built it. That one stream we built a prototype. And so now we actually have to build the real thing. So we're gonna work on that a little bit today and try and make some magic there. But dude, the Bolt Hackathon just continues to like steamroll. I don't know how much you've been paying attention to the community that they created for it, and even the Discord, but the amount of teams that have come together and you're seeing them actually think about creating a real business from this hackathon is wild to me.
It's cool,
wild to me.
It is cool to see it. I'm kind of impatient right now. I'm kind of waiting for the hackathon period to end so that we can get to the parts that I think are going to be the most interesting. Obviously, I want to see what everybody's building. I like the build in public stuff. That's fine. But I want to see the output, and then I want to see the follow-on response to the things that actually start getting, like, the minute these things launch and this hackathon concludes is when I feel like I get to work. Because I get to start just blowing up the dopest teams, the dopest projects. And I think it's the month of July where we're really going to see like real businesses come out of this hackathon. We're not going to see, oh my God, the hackathon ended. Here are your winners. Real businesses were born. It's going to be, oh my God, we built this during the Bolt Hackathon. 30, 60 days later, we quit our jobs because this thing is actually a business. And I love that. That's the story I'm really excited to tell. So I'm closely paying attention to a lot of these, but I also understand like still some time for the real story threads to come out of this. And that's what I'm waiting for.
Speaking of story threads and businesses, I got a shameless plug real quick.
Okay.
Cause we talked about what you're up to with the Soren stuff. Dude, I've been having so much fun on YouTube.
Like, I mean, what do you got? Who's the latest episode?
The latest episode was Pietro last Friday. Which was a ton of fun. I think that's like 16,000 views or something like that.
That is sick, dude.
Yeah. So both my last 2 videos have done like 16,000, I think is where they're at.
What's the rating format there? Like the higher out of 10 is bad. The
1 out of
lower
10.
Out of 10 is better.
Yeah. So it's like out of your last 10 videos, this one is performing number 1 out of the last 10.
Oh, okay. I didn't understand that part.
I didn't either until I uploaded 10 videos. Dude, I'm having a ton of fun. So it's been tough for me with my schedule to like record with people. So I'm trying to start doing a lot more of it. So next week we got Eric from Bolt. So next Friday's interview will be Eric from Bolt. We got Dan from Play coming up. Rio is going to do some cool stuff. Like, we got a lot of cool stuff coming up. And I'm going to rebrand the show. I have some ideas. I don't want it to be Today in Design. I'm just over it.
Are you moving away from, can you give us anything? Are you moving away from design as the core crux of it? Are you thinking more builder forward?
No, I'm still, it's like, it's like designer fun. You know what I mean? Like ultimately at the end of the day, designer fund, they're trying to get a fucking multiple on their investments. You know what I mean? Yeah. But they're trying to invest in design-driven companies. So it's the same approach. It's like, I want to focus on design-driven companies, but the design process of that isn't the most exciting thing to me. You know what I mean? Whereas like this is where you and I differ. You're very like all about like the creative process, the designers, the people doing that. And I'm like, that's cool. I'm more interested in the business of it, but using design as the soul.
Like a lever. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got to figure that out, but I got some ideas. We're going to do some interesting stuff. So I don't know, chat. If you guys have enjoyed any of the episodes, subscribe, tell me who you want to see and I'll get them down. The other thing we're trying to figure out is like how to make the format really fucking fun. Cause I don't watch. You hurt me. Okay. You hurt me, Tommy.
I hurt you?
Yes. Why? You tweeted out and you're like, oh, check out Hunter, whatever. You were like, for people that like deep dive, check out this. And I was or Dive Club.
I compared you to Dive Club. Well, and I thought that was the way to bridge folks over because it was like Dive Club.
I love Rid and I love what he does with Dive Club, but that's not my style. You know what I mean? But I've been so compressed with time to do these things.
It is like, I'm learning that too, man. Like, it is a lot of work.
Yeah, it's like, how do I write a script and like do a narration and all this stuff? And it's like, fuck, I don't have time. So listen, chat, you guys fucking better appreciate the shit Tommy and I are trying to do because this shit is so time consuming.
It is, man. The design of the business from a designer's brain. The design of the business from a designer's brain. Let's see. Yeah. Something.
Where did you see that? Is it?
That's a comment here.
Or something? I don't see it.
You don't see this comment right here?
No.
I haven't seen the design of the business from a designer's brain.
No, don't see it.
You seriously don't see this comment?
Nope.
It's on screen.
Nope. I mean, I see that one on screen, but I don't see it in our chat.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Weird.
Interesting.
Oh well. All right.
Anyways.
Yeah, it's a whole thing, man. It's I'm learning a lot about it. We've staffed up our team with like producers, like from visual artists to editors. We got and it's a lot of work. So we're jamming like thumbnails out for our shorts on top of like different editing formats. And I'll tell you what, like I am truly one of the underbelly, the B story of the This Is Taste series is not just, I'm going to go explore dope people doing dope shit. I'm actually trying to find people who are at the top of their game and absorb some of that lessons that I see from them into how we're running our business. And we are a business that is very much like trying to survive. We have not made it. Next episode is not even promised, right? Like that's kind of the B story. And I look at Soren's team and just he brings in like most of the folks, not everybody, but most of the people on that team come from a really great design background, and not just like design school. Some went to design school, others are self-taught, but even like people who are handling operations have a design background. And I found that really fascinating, and they all contribute in some way to great ideas and the production side of it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do that same thing. And he just gives them agency, like go do it. And sometimes sometimes bad ideas come out, and it's like, yeah, cool. Bad ideas are going to happen. Let's get through a volume of bad ideas and we get to like some good stuff. And so I'm kind of setting the mandate. And I told my team, I said, there are 3 things I care about. I said speed, I said play, versus like a rigidness. I don't want a design system. I want someone to, like this summer, I said we optimize for chaos. I want people to look at our feed and go, what the fuck am I looking at? Perfect. That's what I want. I don't want to look like we've got a brand yet. I want things to just look like we are playing and don't give a shit. And then the third is bangers. I want us to try and do some of our best work. And I think that second point, that, you know, between speed is a tough one to put as a mandate in creative work. But I think that second point where it's like, just play, man. Just do what, like if you see something out there and you're like, you know what, I want to try something totally off kilter here.
Yeah.
Do it. I think that lever is really going to make the other 2 bullet points possible. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
I think the branding for your state of play is awesome. I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, it'll be good. So
I feel like all we're doing now is just circle jerking. So
yeah,
we should probably end the show at this point.
Yeah, well, I think we got stuff to say about it, but it's good. It's good. We got good projects, and we're happy, guys. And truly, I mean, it's you folks here. It's everybody who's you know tunes in. We have a lot of fun because of you guys, and we appreciate you being here. Keep tuning in, man. Keep coming around, and we'll keep coming around. We just are grateful that you want to tune into a couple of schmucks. Yeah,
couple of schmucks. I like PlayOS, by the way. This is pretty good.
PlayOS is actually really nice.
PlayOS, yeah. Dude, you know you can get some good domain names these days if you just add a little .so or .ai extension. You got some goodies.
Internetenjoyers.com was available.
No way.
I got it.
Hell yeah, dude.
And I already submitted the trademark. Yeah.
That's sick right there. I like that. Yeah. One thing we didn't shout out that I do want to just give a quick shout out to. I don't want to pull it up on my screen because I don't want to go find it. But Jay Tompkins, our boy, leaving Vercel, he was sharing some of the liquid glass stuff that he was tinkering with.
Dude. I had his link pulled up, but we didn't get to it.
Jay needs to calm down. He needs to just calm down. He's too talented. I mean, I want to know what he's doing next.
Yeah, I was asking him, and I'm curious to see when he announces that. Because Jay, you are a talent, and I told Soren, I was showing Soren, Jay, I was showing him your thing when I was on there. And it was like, it came right after a conversation I was talking about some of my other team members. And Soren goes, "You got Jay?" And I was like, no, Jay's not on my team. But so Soren thinks very highly of you, man, which I think is high praise. I think there's a lot of people, by the way, who think Soren just creates memes. There are still people out there who, when I posted photos of Soren, they're like, wait, he has a whole team that helps him create memes? I'm like, guys, no, Soren's not just creating memes. But it was cool to see. It was cool to see Jay get his flowers.
Can I just show you one quick little preview before we go?
Please.
I will share just one thing. Just one thing. Okay. Just because I just saw this and it got me excited.
Okay.
And we talk about Petter Knoll like he's a mythical figure on this show. Give me 1 second. I'm pulling it up.
I am making it my mission to feature Petter in more shit, dude. So please, like, if you've got some dope sizzle reel stuff, like, share it with me so I can blast how dope that dude is everywhere.
He's the best, man.
He's very, very talented, man. Like, truly.
Although Slack is not playing with me. Hold on. Come on, Slack. Give me what I want.
I see Petter out here doing the social media thing. Yeah, I mean, Petter's starting to make a...
What social media thing is he doing?
He's just sharing some stuff here and there, some work.
So this is one of my favorite things about the logo that we shared, by the way, is that my personal belief, is that logos shouldn't be static. They should be in motion, right? Like logos should kind of like live and breathe. I'm going to have to share my whole screen, which this is going to be, I'm sorry people, but we're just going to do it. Look at this little guy. Look at this little logo just hanging out in the world. Just look at him up there. Just spinning.
That's sick.
What
is that?
Spinning.
What did you guys use to make that out of curiosity?
That's Blender. We use Blender to make that original shape, and then this moving, I think, is just going to be a GIF probably. But look at that little guy. So those are the things that excite me right now. It's just like those little tiny things, little tiny details.
Can I give one last shout out before we call the show?
I'll allow it.
In the vein of logos that moved, so I found this dude. and he is amazing. I just want to show. All right. He just has this like nostalgic thing. He brings all these old logos to life in this like old 80s retro vibe, this kind of media stuff. Man, like some of these are okay, but it's like just the like nostalgic feel that he gives to a lot. Like that's so dope, dude. You know what I mean? Like that is so fun and seeing a lot of this. So what I've been thinking about with this stuff, and maybe it's something you'll think about as you produce your shows, if you have some sort of logo mark, like this might be the guy, dude. Like this guy puts some of this stuff together in such interesting ways. Like what do we have for Firefox? Like some stuff coming up, It's hot, man. This stuff is hot to me. You a fan? What do you think?
I'm a fan. This is sick. This has like a Stranger Things vibe to me.
Oh yeah, I mean it's totally very specific to that older nostalgic kind of style. But I love this guy. His name is on Instagram anyway, KXD Graphics. And this is his thing. He does this very well. Yeah, look at that. Oh, it's so good. That is some goody stuff. So
yeah, I love
that's what we'll leave you with for this show, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Good chat. We will see you next week.
Hey, happy Father's Day Sunday for the papas out there. Hey. We got to get a day of respect. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just give us the peace. I don't know.
Yeah, give us something. I don't know. Oh man.
All right, boys. All right, guys. Well, for those, I'll see you in Tommy's server tonight, Boulder's Gate. For the rest of you, have a good weekend. Take care.
Hell yeah.